Have you ever had that feeling that your life is one step away from changing, but you're missing a key, a detail, a word that unlocks everything? Today I'm going to show you something that many people doubted until they saw it happen in their own lives. And I'm not talking about superstition or cheap attraction tricks. I'm talking about a way to activate prosperity that has transformed the reality of ordinary people. People who were in debt, tired of trying, and who, after that, began to see doors opening, opportunities arriving, and yes, money coming in the most unexpected way. Take a deep breath, because in the next few minutes, you're going to feel something different. The sensation that luck isn't luck. It's spiritual guidance. It's as if someone up there is saying your time has come. And before you think this is just another motivational speech, let me tell you, what you're about to hear is simple, direct, and it works. You don't need to become a different person, change your entire life, or perform any crazy ritual. You just need 4 words. 4 words that when you learn to use them, change your energy, your faith, your attitude towards life, and change your results. It doesn't matter if you've lost 1,000 times, if you think your life wasn't meant for this, if you've tried to attract prosperity and failed. Today you're going to understand what was missing. And when you put these words into practice before buying a lottery ticket, before seizing an opportunity, before taking any step towards money, you'll feel the difference. Because the game changes when your mind changes. Now you understand how the right word, at the right time, opens a door to your financial life. You've already felt inside that this content has given you power, clarity, and a real tool to attract prosperity without depending on luck. This changes everything. Your attitude, your faith, your energy, and what you expect from life. This kind of knowledge doesn't come around every day. And just as you benefited today, other people can too. So take advantage of this momentum, this strength you're feeling now, and strengthen this chain. Like and subscribe to the channel. The journey to a life of opportunities is only beginning, and the next videos will take you even further. Have you ever noticed that there are moments in life when something inside you seems to awaken, as if a light turns on and you think, wow, so this is how it works? That's the kind of feeling you start to have when you understand that prosperity isn't just about effort, working yourself to exhaustion, or hoping for a stroke of luck to fall into your lap. Prosperity is born before that. It's born within, and that's where many people get lost. Most put in effort, time, hope, but leave their minds unchecked, their words uncontrolled, and their hearts full of doubt. And guess what? Life responds at exactly the same frequency. I'm not here to sugarcoat things with pretty words. I'm telling you something that's a game changer. What you say before you act is worth more than many steps you take unconsciously. You know why? Because there's a huge difference between trying and positioning yourself as someone who already has a right to it. And this has nothing to do with arrogance or presumption. It's about energy. It's about inner posture. It's about that real feeling you carry in your heart when you believe something is already on its way for you. It's almost like that calm feeling you get when you know the money is coming, even if no one is seeing it yet. The person who understands this doesn't run around desperately chasing results. They walk with confidence because they already know the path is open. And pay attention. Life doesn't respond to your despair. It responds to your certainty. I know this might seem a little strange at first because we were taught to believe that everything depends on brutal effort, sacrifice, and suffering. We grew up hearing phrases that paralyze the mind. Money doesn't grow on trees. Those born for little will never achieve much. You have to work hard to get anything. And then when someone says there's a different way to access prosperity, your mind might even doubt it. But deep down there's a voice that says, wow, but I feel there's something bigger, a different way. I just didn't know what it was. And here's something that prosperous people understand and that changes everything. You don't manifest what you desire. You manifest what you believe is possible for you. Someone who buys something, even a lottery ticket, believing they're already connected to victory, positions themselves differently, thinks differently, feels differently. Someone who buys out of fear with a let's see if it works feeling, with that I doubt it will happen energy, has already given up the result before even starting. And it's not the ticket that has power, it's the state you enter when you make the move. The ticket is just a symbol of the opportunity. What decides is your vibration before, during, and after. You might even think, wow, so all you have to do is say a few magic words and that's it? No, and I like to be honest with you. It's not magic, it's applied mindset. It's intelligent faith, it's alignment with what you want to experience. It's accepting that abundance isn't a prize for a select few, but a natural flow when you stop fighting against yourself. The right word, spoken with the right feeling, activates a kind of internal permission that opens doors, and then what seemed impossible becomes probable, and then becomes normal. Some people win and don't know how to repeat it. Some people attract it once and lose it later. Why? Because they didn't understand the code. Prosperity isn't an event, it's a way of thinking. Tell me something honestly. Have you ever felt like you could achieve more, but something was holding you back? Like one part of you was saying go, and another was pulling you back? If so, comment below with one word so I know you're experiencing this turning point consciously. Released. This word is already starting to open up space within you. When you write, you affirm, you move, you show your mind that you're ready for another level. And pay attention because this is just the beginning. Now that you're realizing how your inner state is key, the next thing you're going to understand will make everything make sense. Because it's not enough to just believe you can. There's a specific moment, a simple and powerful detail that changes all the energy before you act. And when I tell you this, you'll see how people who live in abundance do things differently without anyone noticing. It's almost invisible, but that's precisely why it works so well. And I'm going to show you exactly how to apply this to your real life. Have you ever noticed that when someone truly believes in something, you can feel it in the way they speak, the way they look, the way they behave? They don't need a long speech, nor do they need to try to convince anyone. The certainty shines through. And this is the part that many people ignore when the subject is prosperity. Life gives back what you vibrate, not what you wish for out of fear of not achieving it. You can even buy a lottery ticket, or start a business, or send out your resume, but if deep down you're thinking, it never works out for me anyway, you're not acting with faith, you're acting with doubt. And doubt doesn't create, doubt blocks. Perhaps you've experienced this firsthand. That moment when you do something just for the sake of doing it, without much belief, kind of trying your luck, and nothing happens. And then you see someone achieving something incredible and you think, but how? That person isn't more capable than me. And often you're right. It's not ability that changes destiny. It's conviction. The person who believes has already won internally before the result appears. They don't wait for a sign to believe. They believe and then the sign appears. Look, I know that in the real world we hear all the time, keep your feet on the ground. Don't get your hopes up. It's better not to believe too much so you don't get disappointed. But let me ask you something honestly. When has that mentality ever brought you anything great? When has being afraid to believe ever made your life move forward? The truth is that growth requires emotional risk. It requires telling your mind, I deserve the best. It's not about deluding yourself, it's about taking a stand. It's not about fantasizing, it's about deciding. The energy you put in before the action defines the energy that comes back to you afterward. And here's something powerful. When you use words of affirmation before acting, you're not trying to manipulate the universe, you're organizing your inner self. You're telling your mind, I am ready. And when the mind accepts this, your body responds, your posture changes, your intuition sharpens, and you begin to see paths that didn't even seem to exist before. Those who vibrate with certainty see opportunities. Those who vibrate with fear only see problems. And, incredibly, change doesn't begin with having. It begins with being. Money, the winning lottery ticket, the right opportunity, all of that is a consequence of an inner attitude. Actually, I'm going to tell you something that maybe no one has ever told you like this. You don't attract prosperity. You allow it to enter. Prosperity already exists, the flow already exists, the path already exists. What blocks you isn't a lack of opportunity, it's the internal block that says, maybe it's not for me. When you change that, you open the door. And then, my friend, what arrives may seem like coincidence, like luck, but in reality, it's alignment. And alignment is what makes someone hear a yes when everyone else was receiving no. It's what makes a note exactly what it is. It's what makes a simple action become a turning point. Tell me something in the comments. Has this ever happened to you, to feel, did something big happen and it actually did? Comment on the word certainty. So I know you understand this power, because when you write, you're not just confirming it for me, you're confirming it for yourself. Take a breath. Because now that you understand the power that exists in how you think and speak before taking action, there's a detail that makes everything even stronger. It's like an emotional code that the most successful people use, sometimes without even realizing it, and that transforms not only what they do, but as they do. And when you discover this, you'll realize there's a specific trigger that activates prosperity almost immediately. And that's precisely what we're going to get into now. You'll understand why certain people seem blessed in everything they touch, and how that same energy starts working in your favor when you apply this principle in a simple, natural, and powerful way. I'm preparing you for this here because now the pieces really start to fall into place. You know that moment when everything seems to fall into place and you finally understand why things weren't flowing before? That's exactly where the secret lies that almost no one realizes. The mistake isn't in what you do, it's in the energy you put into it before doing it. Most people keep trying, and trying, but inside their heads, the thought is always the same. I hope it works out. But I hope so is the word of someone who still doubts. And the universe doesn't deliver certainties to those who vibrate uncertainty. It's like trying to tune into a hit radio station, but leaving the dial stuck between two frequencies. The sound isn't clear, life isn't either. When you speak, think, or act out of fear of losing, you are, without realizing it, sabotaging yourself. With every gesture, every decision, the energy guiding you is not faith, it's doubt. And doubt creates confusing results. That's why you see people working like crazy, but nothing seems to get done, while other people, who sometimes do far less, live surrounded by opportunities. What changes is what they feel while acting. What changes is what they believe before acting. And that's why when Florence Scovel Shinn spoke about the spoken word, she wasn't referring to a magic trick. She was talking about spiritual posture. Your word is the seed, and the harvest depends on how you plant it. How many times have you heard someone say, I knew this would go wrong? And it did, because the person nurtured doubt so strongly that they created exactly what they feared. Fear, when nurtured, is a form of inverted faith. It also creates, but it creates what you don't want. Now think about it. If doubt is capable of producing failure, what is certainty capable of generating? When you buy something, place an order, accept a new challenge, and before acting, speak words that affirm victory, you change the game without even realizing it. You're not just saying it, you're decreeing it. You're creating an atmosphere around yourself that begins to work in your favor. And this isn't just pretty theory, it's practical observation. When you believe, your body responds differently, your voice changes, your gaze conveys confidence, your posture transmits authority. People treat you differently, and the world seems to listen to you. Have you noticed that those who believe in their own luck end up attracting more good coincidences? That's right, coincidence is the name we give it when we don't understand the power of conviction. And perhaps that has been your mistake so far. Not a lack of effort, but an excess of doubt. Because doubt is like a hidden hole in the path to prosperity. The more you run, the more you stumble. Now answer me honestly. How many times have you bet on something believing only halfway? That voice in the back of your mind saying, I think it's going to go wrong, but I'll try anyway. That but is the brake that blocks the flow of abundance. And the good news is that it's possible to completely reverse that. Comment below with the word undoubtedly. So I know you're determined to break free from this cycle. Write with conviction, the way someone who understands the power of words writes. Because from now on, everything you say with true faith begins to come to life. And it is precisely here that things start to get interesting. Because there is a very specific moment when doubt transforms into certainty, an instant before action, and it is at that instant that the energy of victory ignites within you. In the next step, I will show you exactly what happens when you activate this energy of certainty before acting, and how this changes not only your results, but the way the world responds to your presence. Because there is a simple yet powerful detail that those who prosper master, and that is what you are about to discover. Do you know that feeling when something finally clicks inside you? Like a key turns and suddenly, what seemed difficult before starts to make sense. Here's the point that many people never learn in their entire lives. Prosperity doesn't appear outside first. It ignites inside first. Before the money arrives, you feel like it's already coming. Before the opportunity arises, you're already vibrating like someone who deserves it. And before any result, you're already putting yourself in the energy of victory. This is the point where most give up because they want to see to believe. But those who truly manifest first believe to see. And this is where you begin to realize that the secret isn't trying to control the outcome. It's controlling the mental state you enter before you act. When you enter a situation with a heavy heart, expecting the worst, trying not to get hurt, trying not to get your hopes up, what are you telling the universe? That you're not ready yet, that you don't fully believe. That part of you still expects to lose, and life responds exactly that. But when you decide to align your energy with victory, even before the test, everything changes. You're not trying to hope for the best. You're affirming that it's already right. That makes an absurd difference. It's as if the universe is saying, now that's more like it. Now you're speaking my language. And then things start to happen with a fluidity that's even a little frightening at first. And let's be honest, faith that only exists when everything is perfect isn't faith, it's comfort. True strength arises when you look at a situation that hasn't happened yet and choose to believe anyway. Not because it seems logical, not because there's a guarantee, but because you know that prosperity responds to belief, not doubt. Those who live waiting for guarantees live small. Those who decide to trust activate something much greater. And this isn't empty motivational talk, it's a real, mental and energetic mechanism. People who achieve extraordinary results usually do this without even realizing it. They don't keep asking themselves, will it work? They act with the profound feeling of, it's already done. And notice how this even changes the way you feel. When you enter a situation with fear, your body freezes, your reasoning blocks, your intuition disappears. But when you enter with conviction, it seems that your mind opens, your energy expands, your confidence grows. You begin to see a path where before you only saw obstacles. It's almost as if a greater force puts its hand on your shoulder and says, go, I'm with you. And when that feeling appears, something inside you transforms. You stop acting like someone who begs and start acting like someone who chooses. And that posture opens doors that effort alone cannot open. Now, pay attention to this. It's not about faking confidence. It's not that I'll fool myself until I believe it talk. No, it's deeper than that. It's an inner state where you begin to realize that nothing is impossible when you combine faith with conscious action. And when that happens, you start to feel life treating you differently. Opportunities arise, coincidences appear. The right people cross your path, not because they fell from the sky, but because you finally tuned into the right frequency to receive them. By the way, let me ask you something. Have you ever had that moment when, out of nowhere, something went so right that you thought it's like magic? Comment below. I feel down here. I want to see who here has already begun to awaken this power, because when you declare it, you solidify that energy within yourself. And look, if up until now you've understood that the energy you choose before acting defines the outcome, in the next step you'll discover something even stronger. There's a specific way to activate this certainty, and it's so simple and so powerful that when you practice it, you'll feel as if you're literally flipping a prosperity switch inside you. That's when many people change their lives without even realizing that this was the exact turning point. And that's what comes next. You'll understand how this activation works and why, when used before any decision, it transforms the entire path. Some people think prosperity begins the moment money hits their account, luck strikes, a prize arrives, or someone finally recognizes their worth. But have you noticed that all of that is a consequence, not the beginning? The invisible part comes first. And it's so real that if you pay attention, you can feel it in your body. It's that moment when you make a decision and something inside you says, I've already won. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's not fantasy, it's conviction. But here lies the big mistake most people make. They talk about faith, but they constantly ask reality for approval to believe. And reality doesn't deliver first. It responds first to what you vibrate. And I know you might be thinking, but how can I believe before I see? And I understand you, truly. We were raised in a world that taught us to only trust after proof. But look around. Those who truly succeeded in life did so because they believed beforehand. They believed when it didn't make sense, when there was no guarantee, when it seemed improbable. Prosperity is like that. It appears for those who have the courage to speak like a winner, even when the scenario is still under construction. That's why these 4 words are so powerful. They put you in that place of certainty before the result. It's like pressing an internal button that changes everything. But there's a detail here that few people realize. It's not enough to repeat pretty words. It doesn't work to speak with your mouth and doubt with your heart. You have to feel it. You have to wear the energy of victory as if it were your new favorite outfit. You have to walk as if you already know that what you asked for is coming. And it's not delusion, it's a mental decision. Have you noticed how when you truly believe, your body reacts? Your chest opens, your breathing changes, your posture becomes firmer. You walk differently, you speak differently. Your whole life is organized around this certainty. There's no mystery, there's alignment. And when you enter this state, it seems like everything starts to conspire. Even small things change. The way people treat you, the opportunities that appear, the way you deal with challenges. And another important thing, the energy you put into buying before asking, before acting, is what defines the result. If you buy a ticket thinking, I hope today is my day, do you know what you're sending out into the universe? The vibration of someone who is still waiting for life to decide for them. Now, when you speak firmly, with a feeling of, I've already received it, you put yourself in the position of someone who is already in the flow. It's a different posture. And this posture opens paths where before it seemed closed. It's almost as if the universe responds, you finally understood. Now let me show you what's possible. Come here, look at yourself honestly. How many times would your life have reached another level if you had acted with more conviction and less doubt? How many doors would have opened if you had positioned yourself as someone who deserves it, instead of someone who hopes to be chosen? This reflection hurts a little, I know, but it liberates. Because when you recognize where you were stuck, you gain the power to change. And that change starts today, right now, at this very moment. Feel free to comment here. I receive to reinforce this decision within yourself. It's not just a comment, it's a commitment to a new energy. And prepare your mind, because now that you understand that it's not the action itself, but the internal state before it that determines the result, there's something left to discover that will make everything even clearer. There's a way to apply this in practice, a simple, almost symbolic gesture that activates the vibration of abundance before physical movement. It's the kind of thing that those who achieve great turnarounds do naturally, and when you learn and practice it, you'll feel this energy taking over your body like a silent confirmation. That's it. Now you're aligned. And that's precisely what we're going to get into now. Because after this next step, you'll never act the same way again when faced with an opportunity. There's something very curious that happens when you truly begin to align your mind with prosperity. You realize that it's not the ticket that matters, not the number, not the place, not the quantity. It's the energy you put into it beforehand. But there's an even more important point that many people don't even realize, and perhaps that's why so many people believe, affirm, pray, and yet see no change. Some people say, I believe, but deep down, they're desperate. Some people say, I trust, but have already planned their entire plan B based on fear. That's not faith. That's emotional survival. And as long as you're living in the vibration of, I hope it works, you'll never access the true power of someone who has already decided to win. Real change happens when you stop depending on the outcome and start depending on your identity. You stop being someone who tries to achieve prosperity and become someone who is prosperity. When you think like this, you don't wait to win before feeling gratitude. You feel gratitude beforehand because you already recognize that it's yours. And when gratitude comes first, it becomes a bridge. It's as if the universe is saying, if you're already giving thanks, it's because you've already received. And if you've already received it in spirit, you'll receive it physically. But guess what? This doesn't happen to those who doubt. This doesn't happen to those who make a nice statement and, 2 minutes later, are complaining about life. This happens to those who tell the truth to themselves before telling it to the world. And this is where the 4 words you'll take with you for life come in. They aren't magic words, but they are a key. They change your emotional state, your posture, your breathing, your energy. Because when you say, I already received this, before buying a ticket, before seizing an opportunity, before accepting a challenge, you're not hoping. You're taking ownership. You're occupying the space you were previously trying to reach. This takes you out of the energy of the beggar and puts you in the energy of the owner. This takes you out of the I hope so and puts you in the it's mine. And when your mind enters this vibration, something changes physically. It's as if your body is saying, yeah, finally, now I understand who I am. And I know that in the beginning, that silent doubt might creep in, like, but what if it doesn't happen? That what if is the most dangerous dream killer there is. It always appears because our minds have been trained by fear. But now you have a weapon against it. You answer that what if with when it happens. You change the internal dialogue. You take control of the narrative. You move from the spectator position to the author of your life. And look, this is so powerful that when you start applying it, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember the instant you changed I hope to I already received. And you'll realize that's when your life started to change. Now think about it. How do you think a person who lives with this energy walks through the world? How do they look at challenges? How do they see opportunities? They don't enter a financial market, a ticket, an interview, a meeting or a decision thinking, let's see what happens. They enter with the energy of, this is already mine. And not because they are arrogant, but because they understand that life responds to attitude, not to despair. And every time you say, I have already received this, you're saying, I trust the flow, I trust who I am, I trust what belongs to me. And that changes everything. Now you understand the power that exists in the right words and the energy you put into acting. This content has opened up a new way of thinking about prosperity, and somehow I know that something inside you has changed. When it clicks, it's impossible to go back to seeing life the same way. You realize that nothing happens by chance and that luck starts working when your mind is ready to receive it. And that's why this moment needs to stay alive. If this message helped you see prosperity in a different way, spread that same energy. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word in the comments below. Prospero to show that you are aligned with the flow of abundance. Your transformation has already begun, but what comes next will take you even deeper down this path. The next video will show you how to keep this energy active every day, even when things seem stagnant. That's where you'll understand the true secret of spiritual consistency. So stay with me. The best is yet to come.